Yo, welcome back to Azzadous Studios. In this video, we're going to talk about automation, what it is, how it works, and we're going to look at some examples. Stay tuned. Okay, so I'm hoping to keep this video quite short. I just want to show you a little bit about automation. What we've got here is a little beat that I've put together. Just some of that thrown together for this tutorial. So, automation, what is it? Automation is the way that you control the parameters from anything in Ableton or an external VST. To switch it on, we want to come up to this little button here next to the padlock above your channels. If we go to the bottom left hand corner and switch the info view on, you might already have this on. Highlight the button, it says automation mode, there we go. And you'll also notice that the shortcut key for this is A on the keyboard. So if you click A on your keyboard or the button at the top, either way, it'll switch automation mode on and you can switch it back off. And it's as easy as that. So let's have a look at how to manipulate a parameter. So first of all, we're going to want to find a parameter that we want to change. So this pad, I want to manipulate the filter. So what I'm going to do is just open up my Azzadous 2. This is the same on any synth or anything within Ableton. So I can just grab the parameter I want here. So as you can see here, this line in the background is moving up and down. This is your automation lane for this parameter. As soon as you select a parameter, it'll change over here to whatever you want to change. So I'm just going to select this cutoff on the filter. As you can see over here, when you switch automation lane on, it introduces these drop downs. So on this one we've got Azzadous 2 and mixer. Mixer, you've got stuff like speaker on, track panning, track volume, crossfader sign, A reverb, B delay. These are your sends. So we want to be on Azzadous 2, and the only one we've got here is filter master frequency, which is the parameter that we've selected. And we're going to create a curve. So to start off with, how do we create a point? It's as easy as clicking on the line. As soon as the line goes solid like that, you can just drag this point up and down to where you want it, across if you like. And we're going to get it somewhere nice. That sounds good. And we're just going to create a curve. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create another point here just on the drop, so that I'm back round to where I want to be. And before, about half a bar before, something like that. That looks nice. We'll just create another point and move it up like that. Okay, so I've got the filter sweeping back down for the drop. What you can do with this, as you can see, we've just got basically a straight slope. With any automation curve, any automation line, what you can do is hold the Alt key, and when you highlight the line, it'll bring up this little icon here with an arrow with a basically sort of a closed bracket. And if you click the line and drag up or down, it's going to create a curve. So you can have it quite level and then swoop up at the last second, or however you like. So we're going to go for a bit more of a level at the start and then swooping up. And the curve back down, we're going to have quite quick too, like that. going to bring that down a little bit. It's not as important right now, this is just a demonstration. Just showing you how to use it. Okay, so as I said, you can use automation to control anything from within Ableton or on an external VST. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you some more examples. So I've got a bass here. Okay, so what I've noticed is this little button has lit up at the top, which is like a back arrow. What this does is it reactivates the automation. So you often find this when you've created an automation curve and then gone into the VST again and changed the parameter that you've just set a curve for. So what this does is it'll change it, it'll set it back to following your curve that you've just created on the automation lane. Usually, unless you're purposely doing it, as soon as it comes up, just click it. It's probably a mistake that you've moved it or something. But if you are just trying out different things, then don't click it if you're wanting to test out a different setting on the particular parameter that you're changing. Okay, so next, bass. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to bring in a filter. I'm then going to grab the parameter and as simple as clicking there, dragging it down. So we're going to filter this out. What I'm going to do with this filter is change it to a high pass. There we go. And we're going to bring that down. There we go. I had the low pass on as well. Okay, so I just want this to start coming in. So I'm going to create the point at the start of the MIDI clip and then a point at the end. And I'm going to hold the Alt key and push this up so it slopes in quite slowly. Okay, a bit easier on that slope. So next, what I'm going to do is do something with this snare roll. I've just added this in just to show you another example. So I'm going to add another filter. I'll leave that on low pass. And what I'm going to do is show you how to bring up more automation lanes. So what I want to do here is add a volume curve as well. And what I'm going to use for this, I'm going to go to audio effects, utility, and just use this for the time being. So first of all, we want the filter and the volume curve. The reason I use a utility or another VST for a volume curve is that I don't like to have automation on these master volumes. It makes it a lot harder to change the overall volume of the track later if I need to. Say for headroom, if I've not got enough mastering and stuff like that, you know, I just don't like any automation on these. So I use a utility or another VST or something like that. So first of all, what we're going to do is if you click on the output gain here on utility, you can see it's showing up in this section here. If we press the little plus button at the bottom, that will add it to a new track here. So that's just an automation track. And then what we want to do is grab this filter frequency, and you can see that's on this track here. You can add that to another track if you want, or you can just leave it on the top, which we'll grab again. So quickly, we're just going to create something just nice and easy. So another point is, now that I've got that volume curve, it's just easing it in a little bit. I can still control the overall volume with this over here. As I said before, if I create a volume curve on this, so I've selected that, we've got mixer track volume here. So if I create that volume curve there, and then I want to change that, you can see it's got this little orange dot in the corner. So if I change that, we've got this automation thing again. So that's going to undo the automation, and it just makes things a bit more complicated than it needs to be. So let's bring up our filter again. There we go. Okay, so another thing that I've not mentioned here, which I will do, is panning and the use of the pen tool or pencil. So if I click the panning section over here, we're given a new automation, track panning. There we go. You can just select that through mixer and track panning. So what I'm going to do is, let's say I want to create a left-right sort of bounce on this last little bit. Well, you can draw it in manually, like something like this, and you could do that and say, and that's quite a nice sweep between left and right. But what you can also do is, if you click B on your keyboard or click this little button at the top, you can draw in basically big chunks of whatever grid size you're on. So if you drag that down like that, it's just going to drop it. So you can go something like that and create quite a wide ending to that build up. Okay, so the last example I've got for you is this little vocal sample that I've put in.
Anywhere.
It's just something that I found in a pack. So automation and vocals, I'm going to use a filter. Again, I'm going to grab my filter here. And I'm not going to use too much of it, but what I want to do is just sort of ease it in. Oops, there we go.
Anywhere.
So let's drag.
Anywhere.
I just want to create like a little curve sort of thing. So it filters in and back out.
Anywhere. Where.
So let's drag that down.
Anywhere.
Okay. Okay, so one last point. You can record automation as you're recording your MIDI if you want. I'm not going to record a MIDI in, but I'm going to show you how to record automation. So this little button up here at the top, it looks like a pair of handcuffs, is actually the arm automation button. So if this is selected, which I think it usually is automatically, this means when you are recording, it will record any automation changes that you make. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. So let's go back to our chords, to this pad just for this example. So let's click back, let's click record and change the cutoff. It would help if we were on the right track. So you want to arm the right track over here. There we go. So let's try again. Shortcut for that's F9 to record. And something we've run into. It's this plus button here allows you to do overdubbing. So while when I click record, then I was re-recording the MIDI and it wasn't playing the MIDI I already had. I click this plus button, it'll record over the MIDI, so you can add to your MIDI rather than replacing it as you record, which is quite useful if you want to, build on a melody or something. But we're just going to use the automation for now. So as I move the cutoff, as you can see what it's done, as it's recorded this automation in. And another way of doing that is assigning it to your MIDI keyboard if you have one. So what you do is click this MIDI button at the top to assign MIDI. I don't usually use it, so that's why I don't have anything set up. And then what you can do is click the parameter that you want, so it's this filter master frequency at the bottom, and then just tweak one of the controls on your keyboard. So when I switch MIDI off, now when I move this control, you can see on screen it moves it up and down. So let's go again, record, and I'm going to use the keyboard, control on my keyboard. So I'm going to have to leave it there for today. I hope this has been a helpful video. Please like, share and subscribe if you've taken anything away from this video. And I will see you on Sunday for Sound Design Sunday. Thank you.